Hi, I'm Claire and I'm a chef and a food writer, and I'm here at Everhot cooking some of my favourite family recipes. One of my favourite things to make at home, when I've got a bit of time and a glass of wine in my hand, is a risotto. So today I'm going to make a red wine, porcini and sage risotto. And you know, there's lots of myths and folklore and romance about making risotto, and one of the lovely things I know is that some Italians might say that you should always stir towards your heart to get the love going into the risotto as you cook it, but I'll leave that to you. So I've got 20 grams of porcini. Porcini are dried mushroom, and you're just going to soak it in boiling water. I've left this for about 15 minutes, and you want to keep the stock, don't throw it away. So keep the stock to make the risotto. Keep the porcini, obviously. Pour that back in there. And then we're going to chop a mixture of shallots and celery and some garlic for the base of our risotto. So I'm going to make a sofrito. A sofrito is a sort of Italian preparation of, well, shallots or onions, sometimes celery, sometimes garlic, sometimes carrots. You know, it's just basically a very small dice of vegetables, gently softened, but not necessarily coloured, in some butter or oil, until sweet and delicious as a base to so many different Italian cooking recipes, sort of stews, braises, risottos, soups. They're really strong. Ooh. Next up, garlic. I think quite a bit. 3 or 4 cloves. So I'm just gonna get my celery and my shallots sweating in some butter, and then I'll come back and deal with the porcini and the garlic. Okay, so we've got our garlic. Just going to finely sort of mince this. A bit of salt helps things along, and will season your risotto from the off. So just a quick bash. So I'm just going to finely mince this. I've got a soaked porcini. The smell is really lovely of these, really fragrant, and just with woodlands, and just so beautiful really to use. So you're going to chop those up, which are easy to chop now because they've been soaked. Just a rough dice. And I've got some sage from my garden, purple and green. I don't know, how much do you like sage? 8 leaves, I think, would do good. It's beautiful smell. About 8 leaves, give or take. Put it together, and you're just gonna finely shred that. This is going to add to our celery and our shallots in the butter and oil in the pan on the stove top. I'm going to drag this over here for a bit more heat. This has been softening for about 4 or 5 minutes. No colour yet, but smelling delicious. In goes my garlic, porcini and sage. And a good amount of black pepper. So I would say about 10 seconds grinding. So what you're doing now is you're coating these risotto grains of rice with the fat and all the sofrito, and you want them to almost toast for a good minute to sort of glisten, and for the very outside of the rice grains to go a bit transparent. That's what you're looking for. You want them really toasted and sort of locking in all that flavour. You know, stirring risotto, radio on, glass of wine, There's a rule, some unwritten rule in life where you buy the wine, but it needs to be good enough that you'd like a glass yourself. So I'm making a red wine risotto, and I'm going to add a glass of this to the pan, maybe have a glass later on. Right, I think we're there. This is nice and toasty, it's fierce hot, the pan, and I'm going to add a glass of wine, about 150. And when you want the wine to go in the pan, you want it to give out this thirsty gasp for the wine, drawing in all the wine and keeping that in the rice grain. And then, only then, when that liquid is evaporated, can you add a ladleful of the porcini stock. A glass. I'm going to pop this over to the slightly cooler plate. Now we've toasted the risotto rice, locked in all that red wine. Now you want it at a sort of steady, even temperature to add ladleful by ladleful of the stock. So the thing about making really good risotto is to give the rice grains enough friction in the pan with the liquid. Thereby they exude their starch and give that creamy, gorgeous, delicious risotto that you're after. Okay, so about midway through the cook time now, and I'm out of porcini stock, but that's fine. So I had about 1.2 litres of porcini stock, and for the remainder of the cook time I'm just going to use water from the kettle, hot water, and you're just going to have to taste the grains from now really. So I've set a timer for 10 minutes, and the risotto grains are going to be ready anywhere between 16 and 22, 25 minutes, depending on the age of the rice, what variety of rice you're using. So you're just going to have to be scrupulous about checking your grains. And like pasta, you want to cook them al dente, because when you take this off the hob, the residual heat will carry on cooking the risotto. You don't want overcooked rice. You want it to settle and relax with a big knob of butter and lots of parmesan for perfect risotto. So I'm going to add a bit of kettle water, just a slosh. I'm just going to go sloshes now until the rice is ready. So I think we're there. The rice has still got a bit of bite, but remember you're going to have that residual heat. It's going to carry on cooking a bit. I'm going to add a good sized knob of butter. Look away now if you're worried about butter. I have worked in many restaurants. And some Parmesan cheese. I can't give an exact quantity, just enough. Give that a good stir. Just let that sit for about 5 minutes. So we've got a little fried sage leaves here. Just give them a bit of a rest on some kitchen paper to crisp up. Don't let that melted butter go to waste. Chuck that in there. Right, we've got a red wine and porcini risotto with fried sage leaves. The kitchen is smelling pretty dreamy. It's perfect consistency risotto, oozy, creamy. Can you see that? It's perfect. Quick taste to check the seasoning for salt, pepper. It's magnificent. More pepper. Oh, it's really good. Right, so I've been told that risotto, when you serve it, must never stand in a mound on a plate. It must, if you tip the plate, it must glide across the plate. So you want that, you want to have added enough liquid for that to happen. for it to be perfect consistency risotto. It's never going to mound. It's always going to do that. That is what you want from risotto. You don't want this giant mound of risotto. No, no, no. More parmesan over the top. Some of these crispy sage leaves. Crunchy, crispy sage leaves. You can and as ever, just a tiny bit more pepper. That is a really good autumn winter risotto. Porcini red wine sage risotto.